tolerances, let we start to build. And onward to progress we surely will. Because now, more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a strong and better nation. I say that is the main foundation. So come let us work hand in hand, because this is our land. Come my brother, come my sister, and let us build a nation together. So much of things that we need to see about. Surely I do have to spell them out. Cause you know as well as I do, the only way is putting more effort and less play. Because now, more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a strong and better nation. I say that is the main foundation. So come let us work hand in hand, because this is our land.
Come, let's work hand in hand, because this is our land. We have a stake here. We have a duty to make this place better, not just for us, but for our children and children. I want to welcome you to the Dynamic Hour. Again, another opportunity that you and I have to talk, to look at Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique, and, try to improve, to make Grenada better in many different ways. So we must have a discussion. I want to encourage those on Facebook and YouTube, please share the live. Sharing is caring. When you do, you give your colleagues, your friends on your page the opportunity to be a part of the discussion. I want to start off this morning by saying we must not stop speaking about things that are happening in our country, the good things that are happening in our country. But we must also talk about things like cell phone gate, and we must rejoice when people are held to account. There is this notion out there that we should not talk about cell phone gate and the fact that Sheldon Scott is now made to account. No. In fact, our people, the people who voted for the NDC, were waiting for that day. The majority of NDC supporters and the people in the middle, they were waiting for that day when Sheldon Scott, who is on the NNP program, right, on that particular program of the NNP, speaking for the opposition forces, will be made to pay, will be dealt with. And we are happy. We are excited. So don't tell us we should not talk about this or we should not deal with this in such a way. Because remember, this particular matter was one that had a lot of people riled up and passionate. They went out in the polls because they wanted something different. And they got something different. Though it took a long time for those in authority to reach to this point, but we are happy. We are very happy that they reached to this point, because Sheldon Scott is still on that program, running his mouth about everybody and anybody on the government side. But when it comes to his dilemma and issues, he doesn't want people to talk about it, right? Because he's saying, well, it's a legal matter now, it's in the hand of the lawyers. But let me say this. Sheldon Scott was employed with the new National Party, the NNP. He was not employed at the time with the government of Grenada. For almost 3 years, Sheldon Scott used a number that was assigned to him when he was employed with the government as a government senator and parliamentary secretary in the Ministry of Youth. He was like a junior minister in the Ministry of Youth. So while he was a junior minister or parliamentary secretary or government senator, he was assigned a number where taxpayers' money was paying his bills every month. So on a monthly basis, he didn't have to worry about paying his bills because he was doing government work. So the government, the taxpayers' money was paying for his cell phone bills. He was removed from the Senate and he was no longer a junior minister in government or parliamentary secretary. It is his duty to stop using that number or go in and have them remove the number as part of government plan. So he could have kept the number, but it would not be a part of the plan where government has to pay. That is what any decent person, in my belief, will do. Sheldon Scott continued to use that number for almost 3 years. And taxpayers' money was used month after month after month to pay Sheldon Scott's bills. So it is something that we must never forget. And by that, you will know the character of the man, Sheldon Scott. So you don't need to be a genius. If you listen to this particular story, if you read about this story, Cell Phone Gate, you will get to know the kind of person you're dealing with. Sheldon Scott, in my belief, is not an honest person. In my belief, Sheldon Scott is not an honest person. Because if he was honest, in my belief, he would hand over the device or he would go in and have them remove that number from government plan and have Digicel bill him personally. So he will be paying his bills every month because he was no longer working with the government of Grenada, instead the new National Party, the NNP. So I am saying, for 3 years, this guy used almost 3 years, this guy used that particular cell number, making calls, using it on the internet, data, and so on. In 1 month alone, Sheldon Scott, that same big mouth guy who is on Talking Point pushing the NNP agenda, In 1 month alone, Sheldon Scott's cell phone bill was $22,840.87 in 1 month alone. In another month, Sheldon Scott's cell phone bill was $26,861.77. In another month, Sheldon Scott's cell phone bill was $20,183.20. That's over a 3-month period. Just 3 months. This money was paid by taxpayers. We, the taxpayers of the country, we paid that for Sheldon Scott. But he was not doing government's work. He was doing NNP work, party work. So taxpayers' money should not go towards paying his bills. Should not have gone towards paying his bills. So he has to pay back that money. So to come now and say, well, the company should have known and should have stopped that. No, no, sir. No. The company is all about business. It is a plan with a whole pile of government ministers and advisors. That plan from Digicel. The company Digicel was collecting their money every month. They were being paid by government every month. It is the responsibility of Sheldon Scott to stop using that number because he was no longer in government. It is the responsibility of Sheldon Scott to go in and either hand in that device or request that they remove that number from the plan so that he can pay his personal bill and not taxpayers because he's no longer working with government. And if by some reason 1 month, 2 months, 3 months in, he forgot to do that, then we could see. But for almost 3 years, this guy just continue using that number with that device, whatever device it was, and taxpayers' money was going to pay towards paying his bills. I am saying if this guy is a patriotic Grenadian, a decent, honest Grenadian, he would easily go in and say, hey, I no longer work with government. I have this number assigned to me, and I am now employed with this political party. I want you to remove this number from the plan so I can pay my own bill. I will keep the number, but remove it from the plan so I can pay my own bill on a monthly basis. But this guy is still on a radio program pushing the NNP agenda. And it speaks to the NNP and the kind of people who they have out there speaking for them. It says a lot about the party NNP. Because you telling me for almost 6 years, because this thing happened almost 5-6 years ago, you know. NNP was in power when this thing broke. Not 1 cent was repaid. You telling me that if Keith Mitchell and the NNP really liked this guy, they would have addressed that problem while they were in government. They would have sought to help this guy to repay the money, because when you owe government, you have to pay. You must pay. Government could owe you, but when you owe government, you have to pay. You can't win that one. You have to repay the money. So I am saying the mere fact that Sheldon Scott is still on radio, and mind you, there are NNP supporters who call in that program. In fact, last night, they called the program blaming the government, in my belief, based on what I've heard. Right? Blaming government and sympathizing with Sheldon Scott. But that's how the NNP supporters think. They have normalized wrongdoing, just as they have normalized being poor and being vulnerable. They love to be poor and they love to be vulnerable. They have normalized wrongdoing. That is why some of those NNP supporters used to say, well, if a minister of government, steal or get money and they could get a little portion of it, they have no problem with that. They used to use words to that effect when they speak about things generally. Even if a minister go there and get money or steal money and they get a little portion out of it, they have no problem with that. So it is a mindset. So I am saying the responsibility lies with Sheldon Scott. He should have gone in and say to these people, I am no longer parliamentary secretary in the Ministry of Youth. I am no longer employed with the government of Grenada. You assign me with a cell phone or a number. I will like you to remove that number from your pool or the plan so that I can pay my bill. That is what's supposed to happen. So no one should be out there making excuses for Sheldon Scott. He's a big hardback man, and the mere fact that he was chosen to be parliamentary secretary, he should have a little sense. He should be able to discern. He should know right from wrong. So there's no sympathy that should be given here. He's a big hardback man. He's on radio every night bumping his mouth or gum, as he would say it. You hear me? He should have known better. He knows what is right from what is wrong. But I am happy that he admitted to wrongdoing after public pressure. And I expected by now that this guy would have at least paid up the money, and that would not have been a discussion at all. But no, the guy did not pay a cent where that is concerned. But he's still on radio. In fact, he interviewed Keith Mitchell on umpteen occasions. And many of those former ministers and those who are MPs in opposition, he interviewed them. It's amazing, And they have no problem with that. No problem at all. But here it is. Sheldon Scott is only the first one. There are many more who will be held to account. And this is good because those who are in government now, they would be aware that they too have to remain honest. They too have to do things according to the books, because down the road they might be investigated too. You understand the point? So it's good that this is happening so that we all can learn from it. But he must be made to pay. He was served with a demand letter asking him within 7 days to respond and to make payments within 90 days. He must be made to pay, and I don't care whether you like him or not. If it was another person on the NDC side, it would have been a celebration from the NNP. They would be celebrating. So the big tomcat must pay. He must pay and pay now. Because any decent human being who has a cell phone and a number, and every month he uses that cell phone on a daily basis and so on, and every month end you're not seeing a bill coming in your name, you must go and ask some kind of question. For 3 years, almost 3 years, this guy was using that phone, that number, and not paying a bill. He was not paying a bill, but taxpayers were paying his bill, the bill for him, while he was working with the new National Party, not the government of Grenada. Any reasonable thinking person would go in and say, no, come on, every month so, I ain't getting no bill, but I have full service. I could call, I could this, I could that. Something ain't right. Something not right. So I am saying it is a good thing. The Honorable Claudette Joseph, the Attorney General, she explained in details what comes next. The matter was also referred to the DPP to see whether or not any criminal proceedings will be brought against Sheldon Scott. The DPP will determine that in his own judgment. But the Attorney General has the right to advance civil proceedings against Sheldon Scott. But let me tell you this. Don't believe that Keith Mitchell will deep in his pocket or in his account and help this guy. It will not happen. He's standing alone. And in fact, he may come forward and ask his listeners or people to help him. All right? It is sad because this guy is still around and he believes that he can say anything and everything about anybody. And he has his minions and supporters who are happy with him because they have nothing better to advocate for them. Look at the people the NNP has out there speaking for them. Just look at it. Look at the people the opposition forces. So besides the NNP, the opposition forces have out there speaking for them. People like Prince James. People like James, this guy used to be a police. He used to be a police officer. What caused him not to be? Why he is not a police officer today? Anytime you see him, ask him that. Yeah. Look at the kind of people. Sheldon Scott out there speaking for the opposition forces. Prince James. Look at those guys. Carl Caton. Carl Caton used to be a police, Yeah. Ask him why he's not a police officer today. Go and ask him. Devon Romaine. Devon Romaine was renting some property in St. Andrew, the St. Andrew area. Either him alone or he and another person. A little business. Ask him why he's not there today in that little business. And we can go on and on and on. Look at the kind of people, in my belief, who are actually out there speaking for the opposition forces. It's sad. Really sad. But I'm going back to the point Sheldon Scott, that big mouth piece of thing on that program, you have to pay up. Pay up. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? That's taxpayers' money. We are Grenadians. We were born in Grenada. And there are those who became Grenadians because of mother and father. Right? And you too are Grenadians. And you would never want to see taxpayers' money used or misused in that kind of way. So we have to stand up and make it clear. You have to pay up. Your damn mouth too big. You have all kind of things to say about people. All kind of things to say about people on that program of that you are on. All right? But hear this. I am not too concerned about this guy and the people who listens to his programs. Because if you ask any independent person or anybody in the middle, so you have NNP supporters, you have NDC supporters, but you have some people in the middle. They are very happy that this guy is held to account for taxpayers' money. The people in the middle are very, very happy that the government is holding this guy to account, to pay up for taxpayers' money. And the NDC supporters, the base, is very, very happy. The NDC supporters are very happy to see that the government is doing something about this particular individual and what he did while the NNP was in power. So it's a win-win on both ends. Of course, the NNP supporters, they will be angry, they will be pissed, right? They didn't want that to happen. They wanted this thing to be just swept under the carpet and so on. Because they have normalized dishonesty, they have normalized crookedness, corruption, and wrongdoing. They have normalized these things, right? But hear this. All those opposition programs, they on every day, every night, they're still not able to control the narrative in the country. They're still not able to convince the voter to support them. You know what people are asking? They're asking the NNP, but why are you so critical of the NDC? Why are you so angry and bitter that the NDC is in power? And why you want the NDC to fix everything within 2 years or 3 years, all the mess that you created over the 23 years and a half. And every time you open your mouth, you're calling on the NDC to fix all roads now. Fix the road in La Femme, fix the road in Mount Tranquil or in Child Island, fix the road there, fix the road in this area, fix all the roads. They want NDC to fix all the roads. So what the NNP was doing when they were in power? When the NNP was in power, what they were doing? You want the NDC to come now and fix all the police stations, fix all the schools, fix all the medical stations, fix the hospitals, fix the airports, fix people's homes. They want the NDC to fix everything now, all drains. So what the NNP was doing for 23 years and a half. But hear this. They could say what they want. This NDC has done a lot in the last 23 years and a half. No, not 23 years and a half, 23 months and a half. The NNP was in power for 23 years and a half. And look at the amount of work that the NDC has to come now and do. So the NNP was in power for 23 years and a half. NNP, but still NDC in power for 23 months and a half. And they have to come now and do all of these things. You want them to fix this and fix that. And so what the NNP was doing all the while. But you see, the NNP biggest problem is the fact that they started off in opposition on the wrong foot. They started to criticize the NDC too quick. So the NDC was doing a lot of good things and they never came forward and congratulated, commended, applauded the NDC. A responsible opposition, a opposition who wants to come back into government, will acknowledge the good things that the NDC administration is doing. Because indeed, they are doing quite a number of good things in this country. But all the NNP dare to do is to criticize, condemn. In fact, a caller on a morning program earlier this morning said, but put aside the NNP and the NDC. If something is good for the country, it is good for all of us. And we need to acknowledge it. Sometimes you can benefit directly or indirectly. This government cannot fix everything in 23 months and a half. The NNP wants you to believe that. The NNP is out there giving you that kind of idea that it could fix every single thing in 23 months and a half. But the NNP was there for 23 years and a half and they did not fix it. You understand the point? So folks, again, we have to remain focused, but don't let people tell you you should not talk about the Sheldon Scott matter and the fact that the NDC administration is holding him to account, making him account for cell phone gates and the bills that taxpayers' money went into paying when he should be personally paying his bills. So we need to talk about it, because if it was an NDC person, it would have been a different ball game. Totally different. I want to also say the NNP is not making any inroads. I am politically savvy enough to know that. I am more on the ground than many people in this place. I mix, I mingle with ordinary people. So I can tell you, the NDC is still riding very high. Their favorability rating is very high. They are doing well. People are seeing them as performing well. Yes, they're not perfect. There are some MPs who need to do more. We acknowledge that. But the government as a whole is performing well. We need to continue to do the work in the different constituencies, and we have to start to personalize the kind of assistance that we give. Once you cross 2 years, we have to start fixing the roads that would benefit 4 or 5 families. We have to start fixing the drains that would benefit 5 or 6 families. We have to start giving material assistance that would benefit a household with a certain amount of people in it. We have to also start looking for the NDC supporters and their needs. It has to be more personal and, more targeted once you cross 2 years. So yes, for the last 2 years, you are focused on big projects, general projects that would impact everybody. But after 2 years, it has to be more personal. It has to be more focused. It has to be more targeting certain households and people, right? So I think that is what needs to happen in going forward. We can't do everything one time, but we can do a number of things, because between now and the next election, it will be about 3 years. Let's say the election is between now and the next 2 years. We're in 2024. Let's say 2025, 2026. Right? 4 years in, 2026. So next year, 2026 will make 3 years. And the other year, 2026. Right? So 2025, 3 years. That's June 22nd. June the 22nd, 2026 would make 4 years. So let's say election is around there, around that time. So we have to start targeting our people, our supporters, because that's what politics is. Making sure that they're happy, right? Making sure that they're happy, and once you target them, you assist them, support them, those in the middle, you do certain things to please them and so on, then you take it from there. All right? I want to open up the line this morning to give you the chance to freely speak. We have 15 minutes to go in the program for this morning. The number is 415-4817. 415-4817. That's the number to call. You can freely speak. And the constituencies who have events, those in the diaspora, if you have events, you can call and promote your event too. So you have 15 minutes to do so. All right? If you're in a constituency, you have a Father's Day event, you have an event, you can call 415-4817 and promote your event. If you want to speak about anything generally, you can do so. The number is 415-4817. 415-4817.
Big onion who want to live in a foreign land. Now is the time to come home and do something, instead of staying out there and freezing. Because now, more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a strong and better nation. I say that is the main foundation.
So let's take the first call. Good morning, caller.
Hi, Kim. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. And you?
Okay, good. Listen, Sheldon was doing government work, party work. So if he was doing party work, the party should help him pay the bills. Because I would assume maybe half of the time he spends doing party work. So if he is doing party work, the party should help him pay the bills. So they can duck from that. Anyway, my brother, have a nice day. Keep up the good work.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Good morning, caller. You're live.
Good morning, Cam. How are you?
I'm good, but you're singing very, very low.
Okay, maybe it's whatever, but I'm loud. Okay, I'll try to be louder. Last night I was listening to a town hall meeting, and I heard the Prime Minister address a situation where he said that if you move into a village, with reference to MPs, if you move into a village and you see someone who is struggling to build, right, and you don't bypass that person and say, let's go and help the poor people because they're in a worse state. He said, if the people are struggling to build, you should help them. And the poor ones, he said, he made a comment saying they should go and get work to do, right? I don't know, I suppose that's a general statement. But I was so happy to hear that. When he said, you see someone, the poor man, who is struggling, and the people, they don't care. They just think, okay, well, they've got it all. never mind what state they're at with the building or whatever, and they proceed to always be there for the one who keep on saying they haven't got, as though you have to provide them everything they need. Thank you, Kem. That's
All
my
right.
contribution.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, dear caller. Thank you very much. Indeed, thank you very much. Again, the number is 415-4817. Let's take that call, or it means that call. The number 415-4817. That's the number to call to get on the inside. 415-4817. Let's take that call. Good morning. Good morning, caller. Good morning.
Yes, good morning, Kim.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. I want us to look at something here with Sheldon Scott issue. He was working for the NNP when he racked up this huge phone bill. But what we overlooked is, because listening to another discussion where they were asking why didn't the phone carriers put a stop to this when they see this huge amount of bills. But that is what he used to do when he was working for the government, racked up huge phone bills as well. So there was no need for them to stop it now. It was a customary thing that this guy probably was, we're not sure, probably was making huge bills. But because government was paying, it was overlooked. So we have to look into that as well. He wasn't just dishonest at this time. He was also abusing the system when he was working with the government. So all this adds up. So under his usage, it's hundreds of thousands of bills he probably racked up for the government. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, dear caller. Thank you very much. Indeed, well, I don't know whether or not he was abusing the system while in government. I don't know that. But when it comes to the actual bills before me and what I was able to put out there, and now the Attorney General, it is clear that he was taking advantage of the system. Good morning, or we lost that call. Thank you very much, dear caller. Thank you very much. Indeed, thank you very much. Indeed. Again, the number 415-4817. 415-4817. That's the number to call. Let's take that call. Let's take that one. Good morning. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Cameron. Good morning, all the listeners. I'm sitting here and I'm just like smiling because what's coming in my mind, Kim, I was like, Kid could go on air and call the nurses in the hospital thieves, and yet still he could dog the salaries of teachers when they protested and didn't go in the classroom and call it work to rule. But yet still, I seen this man sitting down in a restaurant dining with Sheldon. And I said to the effect to him, I said, you know who thieves are, but yet still you're sitting among thieves. But it's not hard to know who you are. And I was asked to leave the restaurant. But, but anyways, just to say, I do believe he knew all along what was going on and he was flipping that bill. And there is no question about it. Grenadian taxpayers need their money back and they need it now. We want it now. Let they give it back now. Have a good day.
All right. Well, I would not say that he's a thief, but what I would say is that taxpayers' money was used to pay this guy's phone bill and he must pay it back. Good morning. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Kim.
Good morning.
I just want to say that yesterday, um, on Ride Along, I just want to say that you and Django, I really enjoyed that moment. I mean, it was factual, and you always come with facts and facts that you show about, and I really appreciate that. Personally, I think Sheldon Scott did what he did because Grenada had a government. It's like enjoy the moment, enjoy while it lasts, no accountability, so anything goes. So Sheldon did what he had to do. But I'm so happy that this administration, this one that is honest, one with integrity, and one that put Grenada and its people first, saw the need to investigate and brought the first case from the feline family to justice. Looking forward for breaking news as the months go by.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you very much, dear caller. Thank you very much. And we missed a number of calls while the caller was speaking. So you can call back, folks. You can call back. Those who tried calling. Good morning, caller.
Kim,
Good morning.
good, good morning, good morning. I've been saying this for the longest while. Sheldon Scott, when you have take off the beam in your eyes before you want to look in somebody's eyes and take off a little muck. When you have glass window, do not throw stone because this same stone will come back and break your glass window. This is number 2. Number 3, look into your closet and see if you have any skeleton before you look in another person's closet which have no skeleton. And from things the NDC in power, he been beating up on them. I look at one of his show and I saw he put a few of them with red mark disrespect. He a very, very disrespectful man, and he need to face the consequence for all the bad things that he do in the NNP administration, and the poor people have to pay for it.
All
What
right.
he get, he a human being. I understand that, but he need to take his responsibility because he talk too much.
All
And
right.
that's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good morning, caller.
Hey,
Hey,
good morning, Cam.
good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
All right.
All right. Yeah, I'm
You have to
calling
speak louder.
speak louder.
Yes, because we're not hearing you. You're a bit
Okay.
low.
All right. Yeah, I'm calling to say this.
Yeah, we are not
When I
hearing you. You have to speak louder because the folks on the radio will not hear you.
Okay, are you hearing me now?
We're hearing you now.
Okay. Yeah. When I saw the news on Facebook yesterday or Sunday, I think I was very, very, very happy for that because this man Sheldon Scott has a very big mouth. I look at his show like maybe like 4 or 5 minutes sometimes if I fall in it, and he never has anything to say. He is very scandalous. The things he says about the prime minister and all of these things. When I heard about that cell phone gates thing, I was wondering what would happen. But what I want to do is applaud the attorney general for the subtle and quiet way in which she did what she did to bring these things against him, because I believe he was comfortable, feeling that probably nothing would happen. That's why I wrote under your post, put your money where your mouth is now, Sheldon, because you had a lot to say. And now is the time to put the money where your mouth is. Now is the time to see Keith Mitchell come out and say something that could give the Grenadian people some satisfaction or some justification for what has taken place. It couldn't have been a better show last night with you and Junior. No, I can't wait to see what Sheldon would have to say. I think this should shut him up for a while because he says the most profound things sometimes on his shows. So congratulations,
All right.
Ken,
Thank you very
for
much.
what you guys are doing and have been doing, and I know there is more to come. Have a good day.
All right. One love. Thank you very much. Again, the number 415-4817, 415-4817. We still have time for one or two more. A number of people are calling while e-caller is on, so you know, I can only take one call at a time. The number again, 415-4817. We still have 2 minutes left in the program. Let's take that call here. Let's take that call. Let's take this one here. Good morning.
Good morning, Ken.
Yeah, good morning. Yeah, go ahead. You're live.
The Sheldon Scott issue. Working for the NNP, I think Sheldon Scott used to do top-ups to support the NNP party.
Well,
He
we
couldn't
have,
accumulate all
hold
this
on,
money.
hold on. We have no evidence to substantiate that. So while you think that, we have no
Yes.
evidence before, well, I have no evidence before me to actually confirm that. But you have a right to think, but the facts is totally different. I do not have any facts to substantiate that.
Yes, to accumulate such amass such a money at 1 month, he couldn't be making any phone call besides doing top-ups to support the NNP party. That's my thinking, anyway.
Right. So again, that's your thinking call, and I respect the fact that you have a right to think, freedom of conscience. But for me here, because I do a program, I believe in facts. I do not have any facts to substantiate the claims made by the caller. All right? Don't have the facts. The facts that I put on the table is the amount that the bill came up to. All right? Again, the number 415-4817. And thank you very much, caller, for calling in and sharing your opinion. Thank you very much indeed. Still have time for one more. Still have time for one more. The number is 415-4817. 415-4817. That's the number to call to get on the inside to have your say. 415-4817. Well, we're 9 o'clock now. So I want to thank those who called. I want to thank those who shared the program. I want to thank everyone. I want to wish you all the best. All right, let's just squeeze in this one. Good morning. Good morning, caller.
Hi, good morning, Ken.
Good morning.
How you doing, Ed? Listen, I just want to stray away from Sheldon Scott. For the journalists that have been graded, can they do a little bit better and be more trained so we could listen when they're having some seminars or some things that they could ask better questions? They're very unprofessional. I think the government should start to import some better journalists so we the people could understand and they could ask some better questions. They should be more articulate when they're asking questions. I heard a girl talk yesterday, I think it's a Linda Strick or something. I don't know if she had a bad night or something, but I think we need better journalists in Grenada. I think as you should try to help us get some better journalists. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much there. Thank you very much. And folks, I want to wish you all the best. Have a wonderful day. I will be back with you. Let me just take that call here. All right. Good morning. Good morning, caller.
Hello.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm fine, thanks. And you?
Kim, I'm not very good at singing, but I just want to do that. What good to say, good to kiss. Tonight I don't have no secret. When you have the government phone, make sure that you leave it before you go home. I'll give it a rest later.
All right, on that note, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you very much. I want to wish you all the best. I will be back with you tonight, starting from 8 in the p.m. until 9. Take good care. Have a wonderful day. Bye for now. Bye for now. We have to pull